The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everyone. Hello. So yeah, any questions for me? I saw the email from Isha, and we will try to resolve the concern at the end of the day. So guys, let me know if you have any question. Maybe on SQL, or maybe on JDBC, or any topics which are related, which we covered so far. All right. Okay. So let's move on to a bit of SQL part. So before I move, let me So I have a table structure I would like to discuss. Okay, so we'll be discussing a bit of SQL here, and then we'll finish up the rest of the JDBC later. Okay, so I started the recording. So hope everything goes well here. Yeah, I'm working on Oracle. I got a system, username and the password, and here I show the table customer. So I have a table called customer underscore T. Then I have another table called product underscore T. A customer is going to place order for the products. A customer is going to place order for the products. So whatever the orders he places, they will be in the table called order underscore T. So order underscore ID will give you the ID of the order and which customer has placed the order and what date. So there is a table called customer, there is a table called product, there is a table called order. So customer is a physical entity, product is also a physical entity. A customer can place order for the products. So which customer has placed which order on which date, that is in the order table. That is in the order table. Then the customer has placed an order on a particular date. The customer has placed an order on a particular date, but that order comprises of how many products? The order comprises of how many products? So that is here in this order line table. That is here in the order line table. That is in the order line table. So and so order ID consists of what product and what order quantity. Consists of what product and what order quantity. So order ID consists of what are the products and what is the quantity. So these are the four tables. Then I have a data in these tables. Now we're going to do some we're going to run some queries, or I have some key questions. We'll try to solve them, right? And during this process, I'll try to explore some basic functionalities of SQL like order by, group by, joins, subqueries, right? Nested and subqueries. So these things I'll try to explore in this process. So I would like one of you to take a guess, like what is the primary key in each table and what are the foreign keys in each table, right? So any one of you would like to take a guess, like what is the primary key and what are the foreign keys we have? Okay. Yes. Yes. Order ID is a primary key. Okay. Fine. So I understood that customer ID is a primary key from the customer table. Product ID is a primary key from product table. Order ID is a primary key in order table. And customer ID is a foreign key in order table, right? Customer ID in the order table is a foreign key. Perfect. Do we have any composite primary key here? I can unmute you guys if any one of you want to talk. Is there any composite? Yeah.
In the order line, order ID and customer ID is a,
I'm sorry, I didn't get you.
in the order table, order ID and customer ID are composite keys.
Order ID and customer ID are composite primary key. Yes, because you cannot have same customer placing the same order again. Perfect. Order ID and customer ID are composite primary keys. What do you mean by composite primary key is, there is actually, if you look at the place an order, yeah, see, order ID is a primary key in the order table. No, I don't think, a table can have two primary keys. A table cannot have two primary keys. In the order table, order ID itself is a primary key. In the order table, order ID itself is a primary key. And there is no possibility of order ID and customer ID together becoming a primary key again. It can be a unique constraint, but they cannot be a primary key. The combination of order ID and customer ID should exist unique. The combination of order ID and customer ID should exist unique, but it cannot be a primary key. Because from a table, we can pick only one primary key. We cannot pick more than one primary key. So yes, there are two possibilities of primary keys. One is order ID being alone a primary key, or order ID and customer ID together being a primary key. But now there are two possibilities for primary key. But as a database developer, I will pick the primary key which is atomic, which is simple. So from the order table, I am choosing order ID as a primary key instead of combination of the order ID and the customer ID. So I reiterate the point. A table can have many possibilities of keys. We call them as a candidate keys. What is a candidate key? Is a key which is uniquely used to identify a row. So the combination of order ID and customer ID also uniquely identifies a row. But order ID also uniquely identify a row. Alright, so what we do is we choose the primary key which is very atomic in nature or which cannot be broken down further. So it's completely the database developer choice to choose the primary key. So mostly the database developers will choose a single column as a primary key. So I will also go with the traditional approach. I go with order ID as a primary key rather than the combination of the order ID and the customer ID. Next, if you look at the order line table, and in the order line table, there is something called order ID and product ID. Whereas order ID is in the order line table, there is a order ID and product ID. Order ID is a primary key in the order table. Product ID is a primary key in the product table. Right? Now here, if you look at the data carefully, the combination of order ID and product ID should not be repeated. So let's start looking at the data of this order line. Select start from order underscore line underscore key. Look at this. You don't see one, you see 1001, the first record, 1001 and 1. But you don't see that being repeated again. You see 1001, 1, it appears only once. Means on a particular order, the product ID can appear only once. On a particular order, the product ID can appear only once. 1001, 1. You don't see that combination being repeated again. You don't see that combination. That is 1001, you see the product ID 1, the quantity is 2. 1001, you see the product ID 2, the quantity is 2. 1001, you see the product ID 4, the quantity is 1. So here, the combination of order ID and product ID should be unique. So I am choosing the order ID and product ID as a composite primary key. So let me give you the table syntaxes. Right? I have a customer table. Then from the customer table, customer ID is opted as a primary key. I have a product table. Product ID is opted as a primary key. I have an order table where in the order table, order ID is opted as a primary key and customer ID is opted as a foreign key. Customer ID is opted as a foreign key. Then I have an order line table. Then in the order line table, order ID is a foreign key. Product ID is also a foreign key. But the combination of order ID and product ID together makes a primary key. So this is the table. Now we already are familiar with the few basic SQL statements. So here these SQL statements are classified into following. We have something called DDL, Data Definition Language. So the create command, drop command, alter command, they all comes under DDL, data definition. There is something called DML. You have insert, update, delete. They all comes under data manipulation. Now some people say DQL, we call it as a data query language, but there is nothing such like that. Data definition language. You are trying to define the data. So we call them as data definition. And with the help of this, we manipulate the data. Now with the help of this, we query the data. With the help of this, we query the data. Data query language. You got your select statement. DDL, DML and DQL. Right. Then we have something called TCL, transaction control. Here you see commands like commit, rollback, save point. Then you also have DCL, data control. You got the grant, revoke command. Right. With the help of the grant and the revoke, we give permissions. So we already familiar with insert and delete and select. We're gonna do few more things. Here I have a question. Which products have a standard price of less than $275? So if we start looking at this, then alright, okay. So let me just show how many records I have here, or let me look at the table. DSC product underscore T. You got a product ID, description, finish and a standard price. So what was the question? Which products have a standard price of less than $275? So what would be the query? Which products? So I don't want to get, when I say star, let's see, all the columns from table where standard price less than what? 275. So we have less than 275. Yes, we have 3 products. But without condition, let's try to check it out how many we have. We have 8 products and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and we got 1, 2, yeah, we have 3 products which are less than 275. Now, next, what is the address of the customer named home furnishings? So this is also a very simple query. We're gonna put it on customer table where customer underscore name equals to, since it is a string, we put it in a single quotes, furnishings. So here we go, we have the data. The customer ID is 3, home furnishing is the customer name and address, and the city is Albany, state is New York, and the postal code. So your next question is what? List the unit price, product name, product ID for all the products in product table. So when you say select star, it gets all the columns. But here, not interested in all the columns. need product ID, product name, and what? And the price, standard price from table. So list the unit price, product name, product ID for all. Alright, so you just specify columns and only those columns are retrieved. Instead of asterisk, if you specify asterisk, all the columns will be retrieved. But when you specify the column names, only the column name specified will be retrieved. Now what is this? What is the average standard price for each product in the inventory? What is the average standard price for each product in inventory? So there are 8 products. So I want to find out the average product price or average standard price. So we have something called aggregate functions. We got something called aggregate functions. Average, sum, alright, and we also have something called count, min, max. We call them as aggregate functions. So I think you might have observed, you might have realized by this time what aggregate function I'm going to make use of. Select average of standard underscore price, alright, from product underscore T. And you see the column name, average of standard price. You can give an alias name to the column name. I want you to focus on this. Alright, so the column name is the functionality name. So here I say as what is missing there? The alias name so select average of standard price from, this is how we use alias from keyword not found where expected. Okay. Average time. Yeah, it should be the same. Okay. Yeah. So probably the space is not allowed. So select average of standard underscore price as price from product underscore T. I hope you understood the difference. It's just giving alias name to the column. So what exactly happening is whatever the functionality you have written, that is being chosen as a column name. But in case if you want to give something else, right. Then next, how many different items were ordered on order number 1004? So there is a order table. Select start from order underscore T. Now this table got 10 orders, but this table this table doesn't speak about the items. On this order 1000, what all the items were ordered, that is not being specified in this order table. What all the items were ordered, that is not specified on this order table. So here we go. There is one more table called order line. So I want to count the items ordered on every order, not every order, on a particular order. I want to count items ordered on particular order. That is, how many different items were ordered on order number 1004. So how do we do this? Select order ID, comma, count of product ID from order line underscore P. Right? So this is not going to work. Then group by order ID. So what is happening now? 1001, 3 products. Now here what is happening? You got what I want to do, what exactly the question was. How many different items were ordered on order number 1004? So here I try to do this. On 1004, I'm trying to count, okay. On 1004, I'm trying to count how many products are there. See, select count of the products from order line table for the order 1004. So I go back and so this is what order line table. So if you start looking at 1001, there are 3 products. 1002 1, 1003 1, 1004 2, 1005 4, 1006 3. So what is happening is I just want to write a query and I want to give ID. So if I say get how many products were ordered on 1004. So count the products from the table, but will I be counting the products of all the products? No. Count the products from the table whose order number is 1004. So I said 2. If I say 1004, how many products are ordered? 2. Similarly, I can try to figure out on 1005, how many ordered? 1. 1006, how many ordered? 3. But if I want to see at one go, I don't want to see for every individual. I want to see for every individual. I want to see for all of them at one go. I mean, all of them in a sense for all orders. So what we need to do is we have something called group by. Let's see. So select the order ID and also count the number of products ordered on the order ID, right, from the table. But we need to group for what? Every order. That's it. So select the order ID and count the number of items from the table. But you need to group by what? You need to group by every order. For 1001 how many? For 1002 how many? For 1003 how many? And this is what group by functionality is all about. This is what group by functionality is all about. So what did you do here? You have two things. One is you have written a query to find the count of the products for a particular order. But we also were able to write a query which will count the number of products for each and every order. For each and every order. I hope you understood the functionality of the group by. What is the significance of group by? Now, next thing is, what I did here, for 1005 how many products? 1. For 1006 how many products? 3. But I want to know their names. I want to know the product names also. What products were ordered on the order ID 1006? Now the question was, how many products were ordered on the order ID 1006? 3. How many products were ordered on the order ID 1006? 3. But my next question is, how many products or what all the products were ordered? What all the products were ordered from on the order ID 1006? But is it the data which I am going to retrieve from single table, or do I need to retrieve the data from more than one table? Because what is that query now? If you start looking at the data, on 1001 there are 3 products. On 1001 there are 3 products. What is the products? 1, 2 and 4. I know the IDs. Alright. I know that 1, 2 and 4 are the products. I know that select product ID from order underscore line, where order underscore ID is 1001. So on 1001 I ordered the products 1, 2, 4. On 1001 I ordered the products 1, 2, 4. But I want to know their names. I want to know the name and price. But does the name and the price belongs to the order line table? They belong to the product table. Now I need to obtain the data from both the tables. I need to obtain the data from order line, and I also need to obtain the data from product table. I need to obtain the data from order line, and I also need to obtain the data from product table. How do I retrieve the data from both the tables? And here there is a need to join the tables now. Here there is a need to join the tables now. We need to join 2 tables. We need to join 2 tables. But how do I join 2 tables? There is a concept called joins. There is a concept called joins, and one of them is equi-join. One of them is equi-join. So with the help of equi-join, we will be able to, retrieve the data from both the tables. So here, what all the information I need? I need the order ID. Now, this order ID from which table? Order table. So just look at this O. I'll tell you what is that O. From the order table, get the order ID. Then from the product table, get the product description and get the price. Right. Also get the price and also get the quantity. So what are you doing? From the order table, you are getting the order ID and the quantity. From the product table, you are getting the product description and the price. Okay. From order underscore key O. So O is what? Alias name from order underscore P. Product underscore P, P. What is P? Alias name from product table. Now look at this. P dot product underscore ID equal to O dot product underscore ID. That is, from the order table, product ID matches. So this is equijoin. So because product ID is a foreign key in the order line table, whereas product ID is a primary key in the product table. So the foreign key of the order line table is equated with primary key of the product table. But are we interested in all the customers? No. We are only interested in order ID 1001. What happened? It says O dot product ID is PRODUCT. Hey, we are not depending on order table. It's order line table. Now you see here. What is 1001? It's the order ID. What is the product end table? What is the price? 175. What is the quantity? 2. So let's reiterate it again. Let me reiterate it again. So what is the agenda now? In the previous case, product ID from order line table, where order ID is 1001. So I found that on 1001, 1, 2 and 4 are the products ordered. But what is 1, 2, 4 stands for? I want to get the details. But those details are not in order line table, they are in the product table. So what I try to do is, what all the information you need? I want to know the order ID. I want to know the product name. I also want to see the price. But order ID belongs to order line table. What about the product description? Product table. What about the product price? Product table. What about the quantity? That is from the order line table. Right? So you have to fetch the data from both the tables. One is order line table. I'm giving the alias name as O. Other one is product table. I'm giving the alias name as P. How do I check whether these are all the products? So first thing is, I'm not going to get the details of every order. I'm going to get the details of only 1004, right? 1004 or 1001, and only I will get the information if the product ID is found in the, if the product ID of the order line table is found in the product table. Product ID in the order line is foreign key. Product ID in the product table is primary key. Order quantity from, there should be a join first, where and O dot order I, sorry, O dot order ID is 1000. What is missing here? O dot order ID, P dot product description, P dot standard price, O dot ordered quantity from order line table, product table. What is missing? O.order ID, P.product description, P.standard price, O.order quantity from order line O product P where O.product ID is P.product ID is not with P. O.product ID and O.order ID is 1001. So still from keyword not found. Yeah. Order ID, product description, product price, order quantity from order line table. So P.product ID is O.product ID. So this is how we join two tables. In this way, we can not only can join two tables, we can join more than one table. You can join two, you can join three, you can join four. But the more the tables you join, the more the query gets complicated. So we saw here how many different items were ordered and how many different items were ordered and what are they, right? Now let's get back here to the order table now. Now what do you have in the order table? Now I want to order ID, order date and customer ID. Now I want to get those records or I want to see the orders, right, where order underscore date is less than 24th October 6. So this is the date format we use. So these are the orders which are placed before 24. And similarly you can say placed after 24. Next. Which furniture does Pine Valley carry that is not made of cherry? So let me first look at the product table here. So what do you have? You got cherry, natural ash and all the stuff. So what do you want? You want to get all those products other than cherry. That's what he says. List what furnitures does Pine Valley carry that is not made of cherry. So here we go. Select star from product underscore P where product underscore description not equal to CHERRY. So there were 8 rows. Okay, but still you get 8 rows, right? But we are not supposed to get that. Select star from product where product, okay, so it's not product description, it's product finish not equal to check. Then you see only 6 rows. You see natural ash, natural maple, white ash, natural ash. But you don't see the products of cherry. So that is not made of cherry. Simple not equal to. Now this is interesting. List the product name, finish, unit price for all the desks and tables that cost more than 300. So if you see select star from, what do you see here? You see end table, coffee table, computer desk, but there is only one thing called entertainment center. Again you have a desk, again you have a dresser, then you have a table desk. So what do you want? he wants us to focus on only those tables and desks. He is not interested in the center. He is not interested in the dresser. He's only interested, right? Look at this. List the product name, product finish, and the product price for all the desks and tables. So not interested in the other one. So how do we do this? Select star from product where product underscore description like percentage desk and product underscore description like percentage table. It's product underscore T is the table name I have. What happened? Product underscore description like percentage desk, product underscore description like percentage table. Right?
Wouldn't it be or?
I'm sorry?
Wouldn't it be or, not and?
Yes. So you get all the tables and desks. Right? So I hope the intention in discussing the query is the like operator. So percentage desk, so it can be any number of characters followed by a desk. Right? Any number of characters followed by a desk. Okay, so here we got 6 rows selected. Now what I want to do? I want to do filter again. I want to get only those which are more than $300 and standard underscore price greater than 300. Now what happens? You also get 375, 325, 800. But what about the 250? Right. So here now you see. So what I did is I grouped the R and then there is an AND. So otherwise what happens is the first one is considered and means the product underscore description table and standard price are grouped. I mean now I'm not using the parenthesis. When I'm not using the parenthesis, what happens is after and you have a standard price and before and you have a percentage table. These two will form a one group and this desk will form one group. So desk and the other group. But I'm not interested in that. That is not my intention. My intention is what? Pick all those products which got desk and table as ending and then from that you filter those products which are greater than 300. So what I did is I grouped the tables first then and I filtered it with the $300. And I filtered it with the $300. This is what we have. Which products in the product table? Okay, this is done. Next, which products in the product table have a standard price between 200 and 300? That's very simple one. I just go with product underscore description. Right? Select product underscore description from product underscore T where standard price, what do we need? It should be greater than 200 or product price have a standard price between 200 and 300. So if you want to consider 200, 199 with product underscore, oh sorry, standard underscore price greater than 199 and standard underscore price less than 300, less than 201. If you want to include that 300 also, or we can use, instead of this greater than and less than, you have something called between operator. So instead of using greater than and less than, you can use a between operator to get the things done. Now what are the order numbers included in the order line table? So if you see, select star from order line, you see all the orders, but you see orders are being duplicated, 1001, 1001, 1002. But I want to see exactly how many orders are there. But here there are 18 rows, but I don't have 18 orders. I have 18 rows, but I don't have 18 orders. So I can simply say, select this thing, order ID from order line. Right? Next, what are the order numbers included in order line table is done. Next, list all the customers who live in warmer states. Right, but we need to know the states. So select star from, I just say select customer ID, comma, customer name from customer underscore T, where state in, so I'm not sure what all the states are warmer, so I'll just put some. Because you cannot write multiple, right? Where where state equal to Florida and state equal to Texas and state equal to something. So I just do like this. So I put everything in a bracket and let's say in. The significance is in operator, where state in Florida, Texas, California. So I pick up all those customers who lives in Florida, Texas and California. I have 6 customers living in Florida, Texas and California. I want to pick customers, those customers who don't live in Florida, Texas and California. So you can just say not in. You get the remaining 9 rows from the customer table. The customer table got 15 rows. Out of the 15 rows, the people who live in Florida, Texas and California are 6. Then when I say not in, I get the remaining. Now, next thing, again a group by example here. I want to find out how many customers are there in every city or every state. How many customers are there in every state? How many customers are there in every state? But if you look at this, select star from customer underscore T, you get 15 rows. But I want to see how many customers are there in each city or each state. Select state, comma, count of customers from customer underscore T, group by state. So it will tell you that in New Jersey you have 2, in California 2, in Missouri 1. So it will listing it as listed. So select the state and count the customer or count the number of customers in each state, and you have to group it by the state. Right? When you are counting it, on what basis you should count? You count on the basis of the states, because for every state you need to keep the counter. For every state you need to keep the counter. It says 11 rows selected. Now I wanna display only those states. I want to display only those states where the count of customers are more than one. I want to display only those states where the count of customers is more than one. So can I do this? Where count of customer underscore ID greater than 1, right? This is not valid. So instead of where, after group by, if you want to write some conditions, you will be using having class. Group by state, having count of customer greater than, now you see, I displayed all those states where the number of customers are more than 1. So you won't be using a where class here, instead you will be using a having class. Instead you will be using a having class. So we covered field queries so far, right? Using group by functions and using operators like and, or, between, in, not in, right? And okay, let's do some more, right? Here we go. We got a state and a city, right? Yeah. Look at this. Select state, comma, city from customer underscore T. Yeah. We got 15 rows selected, but I would like to sort them, okay, let's do this. Select product underscore description, product underscore finish from product underscore T. Alright. So are they in the alphabetical order? No. So what I would like to do is select description comma finish from product, order by product underscore description. Now you don't see them in the same order, you see in a different order now. First the number gets the priority, then C, copy table, then computer, alphabetical order again. Then you have a computer, then you have a dining table, because after C, D, then you got an end table, then entertainment center, then you got a writer desk. But when you focus computer desk and computer desk, you got an N and a W, right? Because computer desk, you have an N and a W. Now in case if you want it in the reverse order. So you are ordered by product description, that is alphabetical order, right? Ordered by product description. Then comes what? Product finish. But this product finish, I don't want it in the alphabetical order. I want it in the descending order. Now to see the computer desk, then the walnut, then a computer desk natural ash. That is, your product description is sorted in the ascending order, alphabetical. Then if you have two people sharing the same name, I mean, if your product description is computer desk and computer desk, then what is the second thing? Product finish. They are also in the alphabetical order. If you see earlier, computer desk, computer desk. The computer desk, then product finish was natural ash. Then a computer desk, then the product finish was walnut. But when I say here, next time, the second column should be sorted in the descending order, whereas first column was natural order, ascending order. You didn't specify anything here. Product description, you didn't specify anything. So when you don't specify anything, now I am specifying description as what? Descending order. DESC stands for descending order. Now both of them are in the descending order itself. Now you see writer's desk, entertainment, dining table, computer desk, and when you see computer desk, you see first walnut, then natural ash, then coffee table, 8 writer desk. Now what I do is, the description is in the descending order, but finish I want it in the ascending order. Now you see computer desk, you see the natural ash first, then walnut next. So this is what order by. Your order by is used to sort the details. Your order by is used to sort the details. Right? You can sort it in the natural order, ascending order or descending order. So by default it is ascending order, but if you use DESC keyword, it becomes a descending order. Now what next? Okay, so we did a lot of stuff. Okay. Now how do we get the first 5 records? Get the first 5 records. It's going to be a simple one. Select star from product underscore T, where row num less than equals 5. So get first 5 records. You just need to say row num less than equal to 5, then you get the first 5 records. It's not only for a year. Alright, so you get the first 5 records. Customer underscore P, first 5 records. First 5 records. Row name equal to 5. So what is the query? The query was simple, right? Select star from table name, whatever the table name you want to use, where there is a built-in functionality called row num to get this. Now my next question gonna be, how do I get the last 5 records? You got the first 5 records. Now the question goes like this. Get the last 5 records. Now how do we get the last 5 records? I know how to get the first 5 records, but how do I get the last 5 records? How do I get the last 5 records? Anyone want to take a guess? How you want to take a get the last 5 records? The first 5 records are demonstrated. We have a built-in functionality called row num. With the help of the built-in functionality called row num, we were able to get the first 5 records. But how do I get the last 5 records? How do I get the last 5 records? Right. So let me give a try. So when I say select star from customer, what do I get? Row num equal to 5. But row num will give me what? Okay, as you said, let's try that. I don't think so. Select star from product underscore T, where row num, oh, you say greater than equal to 5? Nothing, right? Row num equal to 5? No, right? So it is used to get the top, row num is used to get the first 5 records or whatever, the first n record. So when you say row num equal to 5, that's not giving me anything. When you say row num greater than equal to 5, that is also not giving me anything. So row num is only used to get the first n records. We used to get the first n records. So what happened? So row num, okay. We used to get the first n records. But I need the last, I want to see the last records. I want to see the last records. I want to get the last 5 records. So here, when I say select count of star, when I say select count of star from customer underscore T will give me what? The number of records. When I say select count of star from customer underscore T will give me, right, the number of records. Now this will give me what? Count of star minus 5. Count of star minus 5 will give me what? The whatever. So what exactly I need? I need the bottom 5. I need the bottom 5. So first I need to find out how many records are there. First I need to find out how many records are there. So select star from customer underscore T. This give me all the records. Where row num less than equal to. Now this is depending on another query result. So you need bottom 5. This is what I did. Now guess what is going to happen? You got 10 rows, right? So excluding the bottom 5. You see, select star from where row num less than equal to. What I want bottom 5. But I don't know how many records are there. So when you say select count of asterisk, it will give me the number of records. From that records I am subtracting 5. Why I am subtracting 5? Because I don't want the last 5. I want only the last 5. So from the total I am subtracting 5. So total was 15. From the 15 I am subtracting 5. So that gives me what? 10. So I got the first 10 records. So when I run this query, I get the first 10 records. Or I get n minus 5 records. When I run this query, I get n minus 5 records. Count of star can be n records. When I run this query, it gives me n minus 5 records. But when I run this, I get n records. Select star from customer underscore T. select star from customer underscore T, what it will give you? N records in the DB. Whatever the records are in the DB. Or you can say all records in the DB rather than say N record. Okay. All records in DB, let it be N. Now when I say select count of asterisk from customer underscore T, what it will give you? The N value. So what do you need? Bottom 5, right? So select count of star minus 5 from customer underscore T. What this will give you? N minus 5. And what I'm trying to do is, when I do this, I get all the records. But I don't need all of them. Now, this query is depending on this query result. Within the parenthesis, I'm going to write another query. Within the parenthesis, I'm going to write another query, and the result is dependent on the outer query is dependent on this inner query result. Now this is basing on this query result. This query will give you what? N minus 5. That is, if you have 100 customers, that gives you the 95. Then you get all those 95 records. You get all those 95 records. So what this will give you? N minus 5 records. So you have a query which will give you N minus 5 records. You have a query which will give you N records. The first query will give you N records, and this query will give you N minus 5 records. What do I need? Those bottom 5 records. Then your query is very simple now. Customer underscore T, there is a minus operator. That's it. From N you subtract N minus 5. What that will give you? That will give you what? That will give you the bottom 5. You get those last 5 records. What happens? Select star from customer underscore T minus, okay. You see, you get the last 5 records. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Guys, understand, I'm not depending on any primary key. When I'm trying to get this last 5 records, you people might be thinking, why can't I use the primary key? I know that, if I have 15 records, then my primary key would be 15. So I can get between 11 to 15. But here, irrespective of primary key, you will be able to get the last 5 records. So what I did, I know that select star from customer table will give me all the records. And I know row num will give me the records till the number specified. So what I did is, I counted all the records. From the counted, I am subtracting the 5. Why subtracting the 5? Because I need the bottom 5. Then I am getting all those 95 records. So this will give me all 100. From the 100, this will give me 95. So from that 100, I am minusing. This is your set operator. From the 100, you are subtracting the minus. From the 100, you are minusing the 95. Of course, then you will be left with what? The last 5 records. So understand this, whatever the solution I provided, that is not the final solution. There is something called performance tuning. You can write the queries in whichever the way you want. But at the end of the day, you need to figure out how much time each query takes. How much time each query takes. The query which takes lesser time is the best query. There are a lot of automation tools available to check the performance of the query. You can run the query and you can see the time. I think if you go here, that will give us the solution. There was one, right? SQL program files. I installed Oracle. Go to database homepage. Then here you log in. SQL commands, and we try running this query. There are different ways to run the same job. Run. Okay. Yeah. It gives you a timeline here, you see, 0.01 seconds. So you can construct your queries and you can run it. You can run it. You can run it and figure out the time. How much time it took? Oh, it took only 0 seconds. So this is how you can keep improvising the performance of your queries. And the one which takes less time, then you can consider that query. So this is to get the bottom 5 records. Then similarly you can, I'll just forward you 3 more questions. Now I would like to see, I want to see the list of the people who placed the orders. I have 15 customers, but I have only 10 orders. I have 15 customers, I have only 10 orders. I would like to know which customers has placed the orders. So how do we do that? There are 2 tables involved again. So get the customer ID, get the customer name, get the order ID, from customer table, order table, where from the order customer ID from the order table is equal to the customer ID from the customer table. 10 rows. So here we will come to know who has placed order. Order ID 1 is placed by 1010. And what is this? Yeah, order ID 1 also placed the order 1001. And 2 placed 1006, 3 placed 1005. So here you have the option. So what is the query? The query was very simple. Select the customer ID, customer name, and order ID from the customer table as well as the order table, where customer ID of the order table matches with customer ID of the customer table. Normally we use the foreign key. From the order table, customer ID is the foreign key, and I'm checking whether that customer ID is also exist in the primary key, that is the customer table. So when the match is found, I get all those customer names. So in this way I found out all the customers I found out all the customers who placed orders. So it's all about the business need. Okay. So you guys need to think, in what all the ways, what all the possible ways which the customer want to see the results. So right, your database tables will be available, and that is not your job. Tables creation is done by the database developers. But being the application developers, then you guys need to think, when you start developing your application, why you develop the application? Rather to store the data or to retrieve the data. So when you want to retrieve the data, then you should think as per the customer, how you want to see your details of the customer. So there have been a lot of issues, right? If you pick up the same scenario, the product, customer, order and order line, there are different things you want to see. Now I want to see what all the customers who place the orders. Now I also want to see who all the customers has not placed an order. Who all the customers has not placed an orders. Oh, it says 140 records. I think there is something wrong with this. This is not the way to do it. So what I do is customer ID, customer name. There should be a different way of finding it out. So you can just write down the question. You can take it as an assignment. Display the customer names who has not placed an order. Display the names of customer who has not placed order. Display the names of customers who placed orders between the display the names of the customers who placed the orders between the given dates. Then you can take the same question. Display the names of the customers who placed the orders, who didn't place the order, or who has not placed the orders between the given dates. Then you can find out, which customer is placing the order and which dates. Or create a invoice for the order 1004. So create an invoice for the order 1004. Then you can also say find the customer who placed more orders. Find the customer who placed more orders. Find the customer. It's not a more orders. Now you need to find the customer who gave more business. When I say more business, all right, it is not that the number of orders he placed, is the amount he billed with us. These kind of questions, it's all, you guys need to think and come up with the scenarios and try to write the queries, and that's how you learn SQL. Right? So far I discussed very basic things like, a outer query and inner query. When I say outer query and inner query, the outer query depends on the result of the inner query. Depending on the result, the outer query depends. So then we also saw joins. These are the very basic concept. The concept is very simple, but it gets complicated when you try to apply it on a different scenario or different complex scenarios. Right. So what I will be doing in the next class is, this is your assignment, you will be finishing it out. So the agenda for next class is gonna be how to write a procedure and function using PL SQL. That is one. I'll be discussing it. Then there is something called, we already spoke about the scrollable result set. Then we'll be discussing updatable result set, commit, rollback, save point, commit, rollback, and save point. Then there is something called callable statement. So with this, we will be finishing off JDBC as well as SQL tomorrow. Yeah, any questions for me? Or is all good? All right. If no questions, I would like to stop here. We'll catch you in the next session. Then, yeah, Isha, I can help you out with the concerns. Shall I make you the present?